But I was like 30 minutes in, and then I did like some joke about how like you don't really see gay brown people a lot or something. I forget how the joke went, but I remember as I started doing it, like just everybody being silent. And I was like, okay, like, you know.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Immigrant Section. Thank you for tuning in. As always, your boy Abbas Wahab saying thank you for pulling up. If you came out to the Forced Diversity Comedy Show, appreciate y'all. It was 2 shows, bangers. Now all I got left is the tour. They're going places. Tickets at abbaswahab.com. We're starting in St. John, Newfoundland, going all the way to Victoria and Tofino, BC. Come out, say what's up. I can't wait to do this shit. But yo, enough of that. Back in the studio with me, second time on the Immigrant Section. It's been a solid 100 episodes or so in between. My guy, Paul Thompson.
Yo, happy to be back.
Yo, welcome. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy to be back. It's crazy to see this grow. It was in your basement last time.
Yeah. There's been a couple steps in between, but we got the boy Dante in the room now, back from vacation. This man was just in Jamaica a couple weeks.
Oh, sick. Sick.
He's back. He's good. And fuck all that shit, bro. My boy you just filmed a special that's been overdue for like
a long time.
Bro. You've been in the game 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel bad I couldn't make it out, but I heard it went great.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was great.
How do you feel?
I feel good. It's like one thing that's surprising. Well, there's 2 things, right? Like I kind of just always have like I've had a lot of like tech problems.
You told me.
You know what I mean?
This is like the 3rd time or something.
Yeah. Like I've done a special before and like we lost the audio. It's no one's fault, but it was like just a fuck up, you know?
Losing the audio, if you don't know, it's in the garbage. It's nothing
done.
is usable. You can't be like, oh, we'll use the camera audio.
No,
it's
like,
done.
It's done. It's done. Yeah, it was an album. So, yeah, and I've just like had stuff like that. So I just like never let go of that paranoia. And like, you know, that feeling of like, man, I worked really hard on this, especially like in the past month. So I'm just like, man, I can't wait to be done that special. And then just like, oh, it's going to feel so good. And it's like, it takes a couple days for it to feel good because afterwards everyone's like, how did it go? And you're like, well, as long as the audio and stuff. Like I couldn't allow myself to be like, good.
Yeah.
I still can't right now.
Who did the audio, by the way?
Macaw Productions, who are like very professional.
They did Rita's shit, right?
100%. Yeah.
So it's like that, you don't, but I bet you like got off stage, everyone's like, whoa, and then you hear like, yo, the audio's good?
I checked with the audio guy like 1,000,001 times.
The audio's good, right? Everything is plugged in?
Yeah, because the first show was going perfect, and it did go perfect. You know what I mean? And I'm checking in every 20 minutes in the set where I'm like, yo, this is good. Like I haven't messed up even. Like it's just going so smooth. Everything's hitting. And then at one point, like I heard music kind of. But I was like, stay on the pattern because I was going like I didn't want to.
Don't even acknowledge it.
I didn't even want to acknowledge it. But then when I got off, like a few audience members were like, yeah, like what was that? I could hear like music. It might have been coming out of the speakers. So I'm like, bro.
No, I promise you it was coming from upstairs. There's no noise coming out of the speakers.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what that is. But then I remember
faint or
faint.
They can handle.
But then like the audio guy's like, he's got headphones on the entire time. That's what I have to remind myself.
But if it's not coming through his headphones, is hearing your feed. So if it's not picking up, don't even sweat it.
Yeah, he said he's like, no, bro, like I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah,
and then in between the shows, he's like, because you got me worried, I went back and I checked, and he's like, I went to the last 20 minutes. And he's like, I was just skipping every 15 seconds to see if I heard something. And he's like, I didn't hear anything, but all I can hear as I'm skipping every 15 seconds is just like dick, balls, pussy, dick, porn. Pussy.
Because it's good shit.
Because like the last 15 minutes of the recording was me retiring like my dirtiest material that like I don't really like. I still like it. I still want to record it. I still think it's funny, but like I've moved on. You know what I mean?
It's been your A shit for years.
Yeah. You know? And it's like it's so dirty.
Because I know you got the dick pic bits and you got a bunch.
Yeah, and it's all just like dick jokes.
Yeah, but still, it's still funny. It's A-level shit.
Yeah,
people are dying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's the shit that you're driving and you're just like
totally.
Yo.
Yeah.
You ever listen to Skanks for the Memories by Dave Attell? Comedy album.
No, I don't think so.
It's supposed to be his legendary album.
Right.
I just went through it. Bro, I never grew up on albums. Did you, by the way?
No.
Like, I never... No. That was the thing when I got into comedy. Like, hey, you heard that? I didn't even know there were comedy albums, bro.
Yeah, no, I never really was... Even to this day, like, there's only a little bit amount of comedy that, like, I even watch. Yeah. And this is the first time, too, right now, like, in my life where, like... Especially in the past year, because I know, like, at any point, like, I'm just trying to record this. It's like if I've gotten to a point where I have an hour of material... I didn't need inspiration. I didn't need nothing. Like, I'm just going to stay in my lane. I'm going to focus. So, like, I kind of even tried to avoid watching comedy.
I respect that, and I get that too.
You know?
Because it's like shit just trickles in, like, into your act.
Exactly.
And you don't even know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You may have
exactly.
3 lines in a row that literally are from
Yeah.
Mike Birbiglia 3 years ago that, you know? And I don't know. I have those worries all the time where I'm writing and like 3 lines will write themselves so funny that I'm like, did I hear this before?
Right.
Because these beats are too perfect. Did I hear this shit? And so I'm banking on my comic friends to be like, yo, that's Bernie said that. I'm
or
banking
like,
on, you know?
sometimes something feels too easy.
Exactly. Something in my soul is like, how'd I get here?
And there's weird, sometimes you do it for 6 months. You know
And
what I
then
mean?
and then you're
and
like,
then someone's like, yeah.
bro, I had a whole bit about like how Tim Hortons reduces the threat level of black people, and then Godfrey has this video online that goes viral of him like with his Starbucks and being like, every black man needs to have a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And then like all his boys are dying goes viral, and then like 3 people hit me up like, yo, Godfrey took your bit. I'm like, it's his now, bro.
Yeah.
I can't, you know what I mean? He's a 25-year guy. I can't be like,
I know.
I've been doing that since year 3.
That's the other thing, right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's his.
I had a bit that I did for a while that I didn't know was a Chris Rock bit that is like, there's a difference between black people. No, I'm just. That was my bit for the longest time.
Paul, that was first of all, how like 3 things. Right?
There's a lot of red flags going on. No, but it was my bit.
People,
that was my bit.
Dude, you watching? That was my fucking bit, dude.
Man. Oh, again. Yeah, I do hate that though too when something like is like you've been doing it for 4 years and then you see like a more famous comic do it and it's like, you know, like you just came to it at like, I don't know, whatever. But you're like, well, that happened to me so much with Chris D'Elia when I was first starting.
I could see it 100%.
Yeah.
You got that. You guys have a similar energy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, 4 years, I wouldn't stop.
Yeah, there was
like,
jokes that I'd
off.
be fully doing, and then I'd see that he would like have like it'd be on YouTube, so I'd be like, all right, like. But also too,
But it'd
like,
be a variation. It wouldn't be. It's never.
Some of them were like way too close, but also too like I kind of took it as like
Like,
sometimes like if I see that, I'll be like, yeah, you can do better. You know what I mean?
I guess so. Yeah.
You know, like
on one level, it's reinforcing. You're like, oh, he's a made guy.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. Okay. This clearly works in the market of entertainment.
But it's like move on.
But exactly on that level too.
Yeah.
It's we were just talking about the Pimp Chronicles. Fucking Cat
The
Williams.
best.
That, and do you ever watch the Kings of Comedy?
Yeah.
Dude, I just finished Bernie Mac's book. Man, that's fucking dude.
Yeah.
I'm a big Bernie Mac fan, yo.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Bro, did you ever read like comedians like autobiographies or anything? Did you ever get into that shit?
You know what, actually, and I'm not even like a fan at all, but I did read like I don't think I finished it, but I remember I read a bit of like Steve Martin's.
Oh, he's got a famous one. I haven't read it, but I heard it's like
Born Standing Up.
Yeah.
That was that. And
Was it good?
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It made me like understand more like what he did. It actually was really cool. I should reread it actually.
Do you read more? I feel like you would read more into like the artists. Like painters.
Art? Oh yeah. Heavy.
Yeah.
Like especially during the pandemic, I like fully like. I mean, that's still my main thing, but like, yeah, I listen to like art history podcasts and like that I obsess over.
Yeah,
I find that so cool. I love going to art galleries and like, I'm obsessed with that
AGO on Wednesdays.
AGO on Wednesdays. Black Zeus and I used to go every Wednesday.
Dude,
literally.
But isn't the same fucking exhibits though?
Yeah, but.
Like we made it fresh every time, bro.
Yeah, like honestly, like it's like there's just paintings that like, you know, like I don't know. Sometimes maybe we go through and we just look at it. Sometimes you like really stop and spend like the full 2 hours in a room and like, you know, just take in paintings for 20 minutes. You can stare at one painting. Depending on who's done it, like, you know, there's some pretty legendary stuff there. That
I don't know. My problem is that like I'm always like thinking about like the time for the whole museum. Like I could only give this thing 2 minutes.
Right.
If I want to see everything, I can like move on. This is beautiful, but move on. But like that's not, if you're going all the time, that's not a thing at all.
No, exactly. And that's
literally
cool.
look at this for 3 hours and leave happy.
Yeah. Which is also cool for going by yourself too.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
You know, because then you're like
headphones.
not like headphones, yeah. Like I'll get high and like headphones
I was
by
gonna
myself
say.
in the gallery, and it's so wild. Like it's so cool, yeah. spend 20 minutes on a painting.
Do you blaze a lot, by the way?
Not as much. Like I used to a whole bunch, but like yes and no. Again, like if I'm painting, or if I'm like watching
Does it help
a movie,
painting?
Yeah, it helped me focus.
Okay, word.
You know, and like get into a zone and stuff like that. So like, yeah, but like I don't really blaze like a lot. At this point now, for like the past like year and a half, 2 years, like I'll roll a joint, and then if I'm like doing something like painting or something like that, like I'll take like 2 hits off of it, and I'll be high for like an hour, and then I just keep doing that every now and then. But I don't like would never sit down and smoke a full joint to my face anymore. Or anything.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to break out of that, but like the problem is so many times I will. And I was talking to a bunch of guys about this, but it's like. I will smoke, and my mind's like, roll a joint, smoke, you earned it.
Right.
And then I'll smoke it, and then my anxiety will peak. I'll just, the second I put the joint down, I can tell, like, I'm already a nail biter, but I can tell, like, my fingers are in my mouth. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man.
Like the fucking Catholic church at church. Like, I'm in there, like, I'm like, what did I do to myself? Like, this isn't helping.
It's so weird, but, like, yeah, it's like things just turn real.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know what, it's not even like, I have a general tendency for my mind to attack me. Like, my general dialogue is negative.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, and maybe a comic thing, I don't know if it's a human thing. I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm like, I've never met, and I don't know if people that have general dialogue that's default positive. That the idea of that even blows my mind.
If that's the healthiest
that's been maybe
thing.
Kanye West shit or something like that.
Perhaps, but even then, for him to be such a great artist that like it's like he has to break down his art as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, his music, you know, at one point we were all talking about CLB versus Donda, and Donda won that, like, hands unanimous. Down. Even at the time, it was like, I remember I did a on the street interview. People were like, oh, CLB, Donda. People that didn't really know, they just default to CLB because Drake in Toronto.
Yeah.
But, like, now, I listen to Donda at least once every 2 days. I'm listening to a Donda track. At least Pure Souls, Hurricane, Jail. But I don't.
24. I like 24 a lot.
I haven't listened to CLB in a solid 6 months.
I only have 2 tracks off of that I still play. It's like Race My Mind and No Friends in the Industry.
Yeah, I like the one where he goes like, she was up and down. Her mama was gone, daddy was gone. Now she's up and down on the pole. Like, yeah, Drake, fucking typical lyrics. But how do you defend Kanye when he starts saying all this next shit? Do you go like, oh, he's off his meds or whatever the fuck?
No, never. I've never in my life, like, still. Like, I'm one of those, like, he's my favorite artist of all time. Yeah. You know what I mean? If, like,
Are you talking about musically or just, like, art period?
Oh, man. Like, potentially art period. Yeah. But, like, especially, like, as far as, like, your top 5 when it comes to, like, rappers.
Yeah.
It's, like, my first 2 would be Kanye. You know what I mean? Like, I love Kanye, you know? So, yeah, like, it's all, like, just, like, look, he's an artist, and, like, the way that the tabloids and, like, how much you care about somebody who's, like, the fact that people still freak out about this, it's like, you know, he's doing stuff for a rise.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, for me, like, and people are like, this guy looks like foolish. I'm like, anybody playing into that, you look foolish. When people are getting worked up over it, you know, and they're like, I can't believe it, Kanye West again. It's like, if you don't like him, you don't need to watch that. You know what I mean? Because guess what? I'm not getting worked up with what Taylor Swift's doing because I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. So the amount of people that aren't fans of Kanye that allow him to bother them, it's like, I hope he keeps going.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, that's literally the problem with the world right now is like that you guys are searching for negativity. And it's like, he's not doing anything. He'll say one thing. He'll wear a red hat. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah. And then people are going to freak out over politics and stuff like that. And it's like, I understand that if like our prime minister started to wear a MAGA hat, it's like, that's serious business. If Kanye West is literally a rapper, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, in the 90s, these guys were like, Tupac was spitting on reporters and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah,
it's moved in the right direction, you know?
Yeah.
It's he's like in the conference table, like he's like, Trave, you know what I mean? He's just, what did he say? George Floyd died of fentanyl. Anytime it's a slow news day, I feel like Kanye sees an opening on the news.
Yeah.
He literally sees an opening. Like, and he'll be on a podcast, he'll just be like, gravity is not real. And they're like, what, have you heard what Kanye West said? It's
sure.
Like,
you know?
It's like,
and then like,
I think he's just staying relevant, to be honest, on some level.
and like, it's like,
it makes us all talk about him, right?
He just
says crazy shit. And then it's like Kanye. And then probably more shoes get sold, more fucking streams get, that's.
And there's stuff that he says that's like, you know, of course, offensive
if you think about
and problematic. But there's also stuff that he said that was offensive and problematic. And just like his music, 2 years later, you'll look back on it and people will be like, That isn't actually the worst, like, as things have gone. And his music is like that big time. Like, when he dropped Yeezus, I think it was Yeezus.
Is that the one where it's like black and white?
It has like the white like disc and like there's like a little red sticker. It wasn't like
I didn't fuck with that album that much. A lot of people love that album.
But that album, even if you go back right now, I bet you'll find 2 or 3 tracks and you'll be like, and also you will notice that you're like, a lot of shit sounds like this now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
it was like pioneering shit.
Yeah, like 808s and Heartbreaks, when that came out, I was like, I'm not fucking with this. Like, it wasn't that good. Everything sounded like that. And he's consistently done that where everyone will be like, oh, this is trash, this is blah, blah, blah. You know, so it's like, even with your takes and your political takes and whatever, it's like, just like, you know, being different. It's like, that's what makes him an artist. And it's like, regardless of like, do I agree with like a million things that he says? Like, no, but like, I agree with his right to say it. And I think it's hilarious when people get worked up over it.
Facts. I think it's the Muhammad Ali approach, right? Of like, keep talking until people like want to see you get knocked out and then you don't get knocked out.
Exactly.
Just almost like the artistic version of it where it's like, I'm just going to say crazy shit and listen to my beats, buy my shoes, I exist. Sure. Don't forget, like, here, you know? I'm in the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it's like, it's always like, I saw him on the thing. His eyes were like, yo, pull up the video. Pull up the video where he says it. In my mind, it was like his eyes were like darting back and forth. Like he's thinking of like, which interview? I don't know. Kanye West, George Floyd.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, that's but 40 seconds, perfect. 40 seconds.
Oh, this was on that on.
Yeah,
Drink Champs.
Yeah. Was it on Drink Champs? 16 October. Yeah, this just happened.
So he went back because
I don't know.
His last time he did that, he
I
was
just
going
remember
off
wearing
too.
a black hat.
Now go and get y'all some motherfucking business while we go and get free. Cause I'm Moses out here. You know what I'm saying?
That's regular.
I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his 2 roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl.
Okay, this is some next shit. Okay, all right. You could turn this off. I thought it was like, hey, this is like some next level edit.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like...
I watched the documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his 2 roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said, they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr. And we don't know why exactly. We say it's cancer.
So it became a Virgil thing. But yeah, it's funny how like they just take that one line, the fentanyl line, yeah? Because he goes, but we lost them. They didn't include that part.
But I mean, like, man, it's like, he's an artist, yeah, but it's like at the same time, too, to even remind when he says crazy things and he goes off, it's like, beyond being an artist, he's a rapper.
I know.
He's a rapper.
It's a fucked up time where it's like, if you have an audience, if you have a fan base, you suddenly need to become politically correct, and you need to align everything you say needs to align with like the consensus, almost like a politician.
But then it's not even just that too. It's like, in the mainstream, when you're as big as him, you have to be politically correct. But what's the larger issue right now, too, is that things are getting so divisive. Like, we see people in comedy, right? And, like, there's people that we know that, like, in the past 2 years, and, like, they're still funny. I still love them and stuff like that. They've gone
hard to the right.
Into the left. You know, we know a lot that have gone into the right. And it's crazy because it's like, those guys don't need to stay politically correct. But if you build a fan base, you have to stay politically in that boat then. That's, like, horrible for art. You know what I mean? So if I agree with like a conservative view, or if I agree with a liberal view, if that starts like reflecting my art, and then all of a sudden like liberal, like I have a bunch of liberal fans, it's like
you got to stay on that side one way or another.
Stay on that side.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's fucked up.
And it's like, that's so bad for your art. So like whether you agree with things that this guy says or anything, it's like as an artist, it still should be inspirational that you're like, you know what? Like, I'm going to like Donald Trump today, and tomorrow I'm going to literally think that Donald Trump's an idiot. And like, everybody can freak out because I don't agree with you, but it's like the greatest thing for me as an artist is to like be able to explore. You know, even with thoughts, not to be like, oh, we don't like that guy.
Yeah.
You know
This is a general consensus.
Yeah.
He's bad.
Yeah.
If you're good, you don't fuck with him.
And specifically in comedy too, like if we're just like, oh yeah, Donald Trump is bad and he's racist and this and that, it's like, so then I just basically, when I see him on TV, you're like, nope. It's like, so then then how can I not have a different take on him? How can I not write a joke?
There's no inspection, nothing. Yeah.
You know, like look into it.
Dude, I love and a lot of comics, they know that the general comedy audience seems to be like left-leaning liberal.
Right.
So they'll be like, yo, look, I thought Trump was a joke. I thought they have to give a disclaimer, but then they'll do the bit, you know?
Right.
Because it's almost because they know the general consensus is like, fuck Trump, right? It's, you know, I'm assuming you're not in front of a MAGA audience.
No, of
right?
course. I mean, we're in Canada
like,
too, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about shit I'll watch online. But it's funny how they have to like clearly be like, yo, man, Trump, that was fucked up. But you know what I mean? But at least they'll the whole joke now is that was fucked up, but like, yo, he was pretty entertaining.
He was super entertaining, but what scares me too, that's another thing that's like, that gets me super.
That opened the door for that, like.
But what gets super, like, I get super conspiracy is like, dude, like Joe Biden's like clip after clip, like this guy's falling asleep.
Oh yeah.
And like can't say anything. And it's just like, when Trump was in, yeah, he said stupid stuff. He did stupid stuff.
He was lucid though.
But it was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it was a meme. If he said something, it was everywhere. And the fact that it's like there's not massive like Joe Biden memes,
his brandability
going around. It's also kind of just like, I don't know, it makes me think like how things get so controlled and like, you know, potentially like I don't know. You know what I mean?
But I actually think just on the front of the internet, Trump is more, he's got more virality to him.
Oh,
Trump,
absolutely.
I don't even think it's necessarily a conspiracy. It's just no one gives a, the internet doesn't give a fuck about
That
Biden.
we're like,
If
all right,
anything,
we're
we
done.
just want to, the funny thing is to show how out of touch he is, you know what I mean? In the sense of like, as a human. Like he's at the last leg of his life and he's just a puppet.
It's also just not like funny, perhaps, to at a certain point. But it's like for both of them, it's like both
kinda
these guys
sad.
are pushing their 80s, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
But Trump was way more lucid than Biden. Biden
Absolutely.
had his head
He
opened
still
up like
is.
3 times.
Yeah.
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 My word. He's had like 3 open brain surgeries. And there was a joke of like, it's like rebuilding a transmission 3 times. You know what I mean? You lose a couple washers and bolts every time. You know what I mean?
If that was your grandpa, he's literally, what is he, 79?
I think it might be in his
If your grandpa's
Old.
79
Checking out.
and has had 3
open brain surgeries.
surgeries?
79, you're right.
you would have to give your friends a heads up.
Yeah, Papa. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
know
If you're
what
like,
I
oh,
mean?
my grandpa's coming over, you wouldn't just be like, he's coming over and he's really smart. Listen to him. You'd be like, he's coming over. He's pretty old. He's had a little bit of work.
Like he was
done.
good, but the first brain surgery unlocked the racism of like the 30s. He's, you know what I mean? Like he just brought it back
Yeah,
up.
that's what they did because he used to be so racist.
Yeah.
That's what the first surgery
And then
was.
the third surgery is trying to close it back up.
Yeah, they're like, okay, yeah.
That's fucked. dude.
Yeah, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, another surgery, another
Yeah,
surgery.
cut that
It's
video.
leaking.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
racism's leaking again.
They're just putting him on a stretcher right off the podium. Like, open him up.
Open him up.
They've got a zipper on the back of his head.
It's man, there should be a limit though too,
Dude,
like you at 70, it should be like, okay, well, you can't be the president of the United States anymore. That's
dude,
not insane to say.
Dude, they should be like how the military puts you through boot camp.
Yeah.
You should be able to do 6 push-ups, 6 pull-ups,
sure.
and like fucking just like know how to navigate Instagram.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean,
I
it
mean?
also shows how little importance there is to that job that you really are just like you're a spokesperson.
You really are,
You know?
because America. It just goes to show in general, like we need that like an old white someone who's involved with military. It doesn't even matter if they can speak. They represent all the values we hold dear.
Yeah, they love the troops or
Exactly. It doesn't. Or they were
you know.
involved with it. Their family's always been in politics. But then you look at other countries, people get in on merit, and it's like it almost doesn't even make sense.
Right.
You're like, wow, like from this side of the world where it's like you got to be from a politics. I mean, look at Trudeau, right? You got to be from a politics family, born and bred. You stayed in the bullshit your whole life. You paid your dues.
Yeah.
Other countries, bro, they'll have like a 38-year-old president. They'll have like a 44-year-old woman president. You know what I mean? Like they'll be like, yo, these people have won the hearts of like the nation.
Yeah.
They may not come from politics. They have a business degree. None of their family was politics, and they'll win. They would never win in America.
Yeah, and I mean Trudeau was pretty young for being prime minister. That's what everyone said, and I think he was like 44.
It's brand recognition. People should go to the polls like Trudeau. Yeah. The school I went to, my grade school was Trudeau.
Exactly.
Know?
Yeah.
That's all. Like that guy was fucking what? He was teaching like snowboarding for half his life.
He was a drama teacher.
He's a drama teacher.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought he was like a fucking like ski like instructor.
One of his brother died skiing.
Yeah, I know that.
But he and I know he like liked to ski and stuff. I mean, like, dude, he lived a fucking rich like white life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I'm sure he loves like skating in the wave pool.
He died
as well.
skiing, huh?
Yeah, Michelle. I think that's what his name.
His
was.
brother's name was Michelle.
I think so. I think that's what happened. I know that. One of their brothers died, and I believe it was skiing, or like he went missing skiing or something.
Damn, that's one of those like the fucking helicopter drops you off at the top of the mountain, and you fucking like an $18,000 ski trip.
Be. Do you ski?
I ski like not good. Like I ski only because back when I worked in the States, one guy I worked with, we went to Salt Lake City.
Right.
And he's like a big skier. So it's like a 4-day trip. Salt Lake City's got like sick fucking mountains and shit.
Yeah.
Brighton or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I just spent 4 days. Skiing is sick because you can just learn it quick.
Oh yeah, the French fries and pizza.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even want
from South Park.
Yeah, like I know what's it called. Snowboarding is cooler.
It is
but
cooler.
if I'm going to ski once every 5 years, not even. I haven't skied in 15 years, but I'm down. I want to do it this winter.
That's the sickest part about skiing. If you've never skied or if you haven't skied in a long time, you need an hour or two.
Yeah.
You get back up and you're hitting green squares, the blue fucking whatever.
Yeah, you got to keep it like...
You snowboard, you're going to break your wrist and ass for at least 2 days before you're up there.
Have you broken something? You asked me before.
I haven't. Every time I snowboarded, I have 3 times, but it was all like, I haven't done it in like 3 years. So every time you start fresh, and you God. Like one time I thought I broke my wrist, but never broke anything. Though.
Okay, good.
Knock on wood, bro.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten stitches before?
I have right here.
What
I ran into my older brother's forehead.
Oh, shit. And it just opened up?
Bro, he was like 10. I was 6. You know that game? Imagine you're chasing someone around a really thick tree. Mm-hmm. You know when you're a kid?
Yeah.
You're chasing. And then you go, I know. I'll turn around.
Yeah.
Boom, bro. We did that in the house. Like where, you have a kitchen that opens to the living room, that opens to the hallway. And I'm just like chasing them. And then I'm like, aha. It's just like... Boom, but
I like doing that with like my niece or nephew. It's so funny that they haven't figured that out. So like you'll just be like the island and you're going around and around, and then you just like all of a sudden they're following the pattern and you're just there. It always makes them like, whoa,
what?
Like, it freaks them out because it's just like they really didn't know that was coming.
It's like unlocked higher brain function.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, yeah, I did not see that coming.
That was like child acid, pretty much.
Yeah,
like whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You were behind me.
I feel like kids are always like. I think like a similar feeling to like what we would feel if we do acid or mushrooms and stuff like that is like up to a certain age, like 5 or 6. Like I feel like that's what kids kind of feel like.
Constant wonder
and rediscovering things. Like when we're on mushrooms, right? If you haven't done mushrooms for months, or if it's like the first time you've done mushrooms, and if like we're just in here and like, hey, we're high and we're starting to like vibe and like everything's good. If you're like, yo, you want to go for a walk? Like when we go outside, like. That's my first time seeing trees on mushrooms. That's my first time, like, you know what I mean? There's a rediscovery. And as a kid, like, if you're like, we're going to go swimming, and it's like their first time at a pool, it's like, this is crazy. Like, I've never processed this stuff before.
Have you ever gone to a giant, I don't know if you ever worked in like, or been to a giant warehouse, like Amazon level warehouse that has like 30 loading docks, like fucking huge facility.
Think like a giant one.
Dude, if you ever go into one of those facilities and it's like empty, it's like they haven't like fucking inventory, whatever. Dude, that child wonder creeps right back up.
And you just want to run.
You're like, I want to not only run, I want to throw a football.
Yeah.
I want to throw a baseball and have someone hit it.
Yeah.
I want to get my car in here and do donuts.
Yeah.
It's like...
That's so healthy.
That's
though.
that kid thing comes back up.
that.
I'm like, but you can't do any of it.
Yeah.
You're with someone, you're just like,
Yeah,
yo, what the fuck are you doing?
You need
You're going to
that.
start over there. You're going to work 9 to 5. It's like,
I know,
what the fuck
but
are you
instead you're
doing?
like,
It's like
you
that
have to
Simpsons
show up.
episode where Bart and Milhouse, they grab the old chair and they fucking just do the fire hydrant, and
Oh,
they just
yeah.
propels them back.
And they did the what's it called? The megaphones.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Testing.
And the bee just it's like a fly goes by, goes. And
That was one of my favorite episodes, man.
That's so funny, man.
Testing.
That show's on a different level. It's crazy. It's so funny, man.
It's funny how do you ever like not want to start new shit? Like starting a new show or a new thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's work for the mind. Like when I come home late,
Yeah.
I'll be like, I like smoking hookah. Like after I'm just like, it's tobacco. I'm addicted.
Yeah.
To it. I
love hookah.
Yeah, me too.
Love hookah
I'll
so
come
much.
home and like there's 7 shows. People are like, watch this, watch
Yeah.
that. Bro, I'll just put on Simpsons highlights on YouTube.
Totally. Lately, I've been just heavy on The Simpsons.
It's like a lullaby to me because
Well,
I've
also,
seen
like-
it all. I know it all. I love it all.
Yeah. I think
not-
it's also a good diet for your brain.
You think?
Yeah, I would say so in the sense that like, okay, maybe not if like you've seen it so many times, but it also is good that it's like they do have the ultimate comedic timing and writing, and it's just like it's good for you to just listen to those rhythms. Rather that than there's a lot of other stuff that you could be watching that's not good.
I agree. In terms of like,
You know?
I grew up on that stuff, so it got ingrained in me.
And that is good too to like I like watch Full House still sometimes and stuff because it's warming. You know what I mean?
I that was after my time. It wasn't even that it was after my time. It's just I never had that channel.
Yeah,
That's
you
like an
probably-
American,
Yeah.
mid '80s kind of sitcom, right? Isn't it?
it
Full House?
was maybe like,
Is that with Fonz? Hey, or whatever.
No,
the
no,
fuck?
no, that's Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Yeah, that's from the 50s, Fonz.
50s? No.
Yeah. Happy Days is
Happy
from like
Days
the
is the
50s or
50s?
60s or something.
But it was
yeah.
colored though.
Yeah, it might be like the 60s, right? It might be. Here's what it might be. Here's my guess. I think it might be like 1965, but it takes place in the 50s.
Oh, word, yeah, because it ran 74 to
okay, so
84.
1970s.
So 70s, 80s,
but it's in the 1950s.
In life of the 50s and early 60s. You're right.
Right.
That's why I was like the leather jacket. Oh,
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
you watch this shit?
Yeah, when I lived in the States,
When you live in the States?
like grade 1 and 2, I lived in Texas.
Word, yeah. I
San
didn't know that
Antonio.
shit.
Yeah. So when we lived there, because you lived in the States too.
Yeah.
Did you ever have Nick at Night?
Nick at Night? No, what's that? I mean, I lived
So-
when I was like fucking like
I
24,
mean,
25, 26.
Yeah, it sucks that they don't have this like, because I guess
Nick at Night?
TV doesn't really work. So Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
right, which was like the kid channel.
Yeah.
At like 9 o'clock, it would become Nick at Night, and it would be like the Munsters, Happy Days, like Mama's Family. It would all be like all these old shows, which is really smart because like kids are in bed now anyway, so like
Yeah.
you can watch the stuff that you used to watch. And what's crazy is like then like Nick at Night, I remember I checked in on that like when I was like 20 and like it started being like Fresh Prince and Full House.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they
You
have
know what I mean?
updated it.
That's the old shows now.
Like
Yeah.
Sister, and
Exactly.
Seinfeld and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, so now that you've recorded this shit,
Mm-hmm.
what's the big plan?
Now it's like I'm super excited.
You feel
to,
free, right? Kind of?
Oh, totally.
Because there's
man.
there's no pressure. Because
Totally.
you hit a point, I'm assuming, where it's like the general. And nowadays it's all special.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, especially for a guy that's, you could have done it 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's-
it's like
that's
there's
the
people
biggest
like the
part.
whispering, "Oh, Paul, you gotta do. It's
Yeah,
like, you
yeah.
gotta, You're like, okay, here it is. It's I fucking done. Now
done
it's
and happy with it.
McCaw's handling, editing, everything.
Yeah.
So now you're just kind of like in this artistic freedom, right?
Yeah, it's good to like be able to, like grow and try new stuff. I think one of the most exciting things too is like I just constantly, I don't think this is a bad thing, but like I definitely always perform for like the back of the room. I like always like, even if an audience is good, like I like seeing like, am I making the other comics laugh? You know what I mean?
Okay, I feel you. But it's a different thing, you know.
It is a different thing, yeah.
A lot of times
also I
I'll
think
bomb
it's a
and I
good
get the
thing.
biggest laugh from the comic. 'cause
Sure.
It includes the fact that it bombed.
Yeah.
Is in the laugh.
Yeah.
Or they might really think it's actually funny, or they want to be like, I want to give you some laugh at this moment.
But the combo of the two is like the ultimate when it's like you're killing with the audience and you look back and it's like, and comics are like, they're going out of their way to like not look at their like notes and stuff, which is fair to like really, to watch.
You've activated them, or you see someone
You know?
like coming from the back, like walking. Like I've been listening to you. Now I want to see.
Now
what's
you're like, oh yeah, he's killing. What's going on?
I
up
gotta
there?
watch this.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So-
a good feel.
So I always I like that. So it's like it's cool right now to be able to like I don't have that insecurity of like when I'm going up the past month, especially when I'm just working on just this material. It'd be stupid to work on new things. So right now I'm working on the same stuff, and it's like, damn, when there's other comics there, I'm like, well, you've heard this 15 minutes before. So it's exciting now that like, oh, this new joke's working. And if I do a show with like a friend that I haven't seen in a month, I'm like, oh yeah, you haven't seen me do this bit yet.
This
you
is
know
the
what I
new
mean?
shit. Yeah.
And the new shit's fresh and it's exciting and like it's like literally like like bomb again and stuff. Like
Dude,
I want to go back to like, that's why I'm like, even like the past couple of shows, I haven't had time to really sit down and like, not write because I don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but like to like.
Do you do all your shit on stage?
Kinda, yeah. Like I'll just write down like a note and then I'll let it build on stage. But like I haven't even had time much really to like look into notes too much.
Yeah.
But I still just every show I've been doing, like I did Corner last night and it was like packed and I went up last and I still was like, I forced myself to do 20 minutes and like I didn't do anything. It was all new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's so, yeah, it's so good. It's so fun. You know what I mean? It's scary. It's good.
It is, yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
when I put my shit out, I just like started like working like crazy, bombing. Till this day, I'm bombing hard. But it's like I got a bunch of new stuff that it's like is way better than the old stuff. Especially now, it's like
exactly right.
So now it's like in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the old stuff because everyone saw it. No one saw it. Like I just did a show yesterday. It's so funny. I just did a show, 2 shows yesterday. I'm hosting. I'm doing like 30 on each.
Yeah.
And at the end, the people are like, where are you from? And I'm like, wow, that's hilarious because before my special, every bit I did was about Sudan. No one has ever asked me after a show, where are you from?
Right.
Because now all the shit I'm doing is like my life now, other stuff. It's not like where I'm from specifically, right?
You were born there?
I was born in Sudan.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm like, wow, that blew me away where I was like, because in my head, I'm like, oh, all of you here have seen my thing. None of them have seen it.
No, exactly.
No one
And
has seen or heard anything. In
Yeah.
fact, Apple will send me emails all the time. Apple will send you weekly emails about your album.
Oh, yeah?
It's such a bummer. Like, I'll literally get them. I'll just be in a good mood working on stuff, and I'll get an email. Be like, by the way, 0 plays, 0 Shazams this
no
week.
one's listened to it at all.
Dude, FY, get back to your shit, you fucking nothing.
Yeah.
This is numerically, you're nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think that, you know, like that's a thing in Canada too, though, that it's like, we have to, you know, that's a gift and it's a curse, right? That like, you could still do like your hour, you could have an hour of type material. You could do that for the rest of your career.
I know, right?
You know, but it's like, that's why you have to almost pretend as if people have seen it. Cause it's like to grow. And you have to work that muscle because if something does take off, and that's what's cool about the internet right now, it's like you could have a clip just go completely viral, and then you get 20,000 new followers who are dedicated followers who all of a sudden are like, we want to see you on tour and this and that, and then it's just like, but we all also checked out your special.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
it's like, so
we've seen everything.
We don't want to see any of that anymore. So you got to be ready for like at any point.
I know, man.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta when the opportunity comes, you have to be ready.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I probably won't have my special come out for like 6 months or something like that, right?
Yeah, so you can build in the meantime.
Go hard on that because
Yeah.
ideally that it's like if people see that and then there's people who have I've never seen you live and like I just watched this on YouTube and I think it's hilarious. They're like, where are you next? Like,
Exactly.
I would hope that they can come and that whole 15 minutes they're like, sick. That
It
was
better be
new.
different. That's the idea. Like it really better be different.
Right.
I'm banking on that. Like in my mind, I was like, "Oh, this. I'm putting it to bed. I'm putting this stuff to bed." But it's like, you're not. Once I go to Newfoundland, no one. Once I go to fucking Sydney, Nova Scotia, no one even fucking has heard my name, seen my face.
Yeah.
Do all of it. All of it is open season. You know.
Totally,
But at
totally.
the same time, yesterday I was doing it, and like a couple bits popped up. That like, oh, I saw an opening to do the old bit, and I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, and I did them.
Absolutely.
The bits are great. They're clearly more polished than what I'm doing right now. Because what I'm doing right now is clearly so much more of like my own voice. Like once I bring out an old bit because I saw an opening, it felt so like I could see how the bit was like built year 3. Like you could see it's like a piece of shit that has tape on it.
Yeah.
Duct tape
But
and like
that's totally cool too. Like I think that's, you know.
no, but I can see how fragmented it was. Even though it's funny and it's doing better than maybe what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, like what I'm working right now is so much more fluid.
Absolutely.
Like my old bits were like, here's a line. There's kind of like logically, I didn't exactly get you here.
Yeah.
But this works too because I beat it into place. I beat it so it works.
And you can do it in autopilot too.
Exactly. So
Right.
now I see it's like like the old bit goes like whereas the new bit is like it's like way more fluid.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like even like that's what I've been having fun with doing new stuff in the past. Like, I mean, only a couple of days because I just did it, but it's like you eventually get to this point where things are tight, and that's amazing, and like I love that, and it's like, but I can do 15 minutes and like really be an autopilot, and I do start to notice it where like I'll be doing these jokes I've done, and I'm doing well, like I'll be like smashing, but in my head I'm just like, oh yeah, like this. I'm literally thinking about different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like to the point where sometimes
You're
I have
not
to
even
zone
there.
out.
You're not there.
Where I'm just like, oh yo, did I leave that in the fridge? I'm like, yeah, sick. Like no joke. I've like gotten pumped about what I'm gonna do after.
Yeah.
Where I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yo, sick. Hey, I'm gonna do that, this, that, and I'm literally out loud doing this joke, this, that. Where like last night I do 20 minutes and it's like new stuff.
You
It's
have
like,
to be there.
I'm in the moment.
You have to be.
And it's sick because it's like it's there's people that are good like writers and there's different things that will like benefit. You know what I mean? But it's like as a loose like. If like a naturally funny person, it's like you'll benefit a lot from the new material,
and
you
it
get
just
to be loose.
for the soul. It feels better.
Oh,
it's like when you come off, you kill doing 20, where you're literally like, "Am I gonna have Wendy's after this?" in your head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like where you're in it. You may not exactly know where. You're hoping someone drops a drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
That feels so much better. It feels so much more like a real fight than,
Do you know what
than
it
like
is?
a monologue.
Like that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like what it is, and this is cool. This process, like I will continue to use this process, and I'm not shitting on the process at all. But it's like when you start, you really are like a stand-up comedian. Like what people think we do on stage, you're kind of like when you're at that part now where you're doing new material, we really kind of are. You're like you're loose and this and that, and it's like you really do feel like a comedian. But when you get to the point where it's all tight, like that's nice. But it's like now at this point you are an actor doing a monologue, which is cool because you had to write that monologue through the process of comedy. But now when we're back to like the new material, it really does feel like, you know what I mean? Like last night's the first time that I got off stage, and I'm like, the first time in like 6-7 years that I got off stage, and I was like, yo, I wonder if I could go to like an open mic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I just
yeah.
finished where I'm like, yo, that one thing I want to do, like I want to work that 5 minutes more.
A couple times before I'm back on this stage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know
dude,
what I mean?
It's
like I just want to rip mics and I want to do this. You know what I mean? I want to do comedy.
You're hungry and the fire is there again.
Yeah.
But when a big group of people are in front of you, it's like that monologue is a tried and true thing that you have chiseled to perfection. Yeah. So even though like from like the point of view of like your soul and spirit, it's not giving you everything. From the audience point of view, this is you at your best, right?
Yeah.
And if something happens where you have to deviate out of the monologue, you've got those chops. You've been doing this. So it's like you can address it, make it funny, go back.
Yeah.
But the truth is like, that's what we're doing. We're honing it. So it's like, if you do 10 shows, 9 are going to go great.
Yeah.
But this style of like, I feel free and I'm alive. If you do 10 shows of that, 4 might go good. You know what I mean?
No,
Because
totally,
like, even though you feel good and that, this is a risky game because you're not just funny.
And you
it's
want
a
to be
50-50
and
thing.
tighter. Yeah. I mean, also too, like what's curious, and I'm just going to go with my gut, but it's like tonight I'm doing a roast theater in Brampton, right? I'm like, I truly can't tell you.
Well, what's
like,
it called?
The show?
Yeah.
Stand-Up Stitches.
Stand-Up Stitches.
Yeah.
Roast theater?
The roast theater in Brampton.
Like it's a theater just for roasting or?
No, Rose. ROS.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah,
I've never
Rose
even heard of. I haven't even heard of this. Rose Theater.
Yeah, the Rose Theater. Yeah.
It's like a nice show.
Yeah, it's a nice show. So I don't know. Like I'm literally just as curious as anybody else would be when I show up. Like I'm like, because I won't judge myself if like I go there and I'm like it's packed and there's the vibe. Or I'm like, do my best 15 minutes from the special. But I might also go there and just be like fuck it. And also, you know what? I might come in and open with something, and then this is what I probably think will happen. And then 3 minutes into it, I'm just gonna be like, fuck it. And I'm just gonna start going off.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do my new shit.
Yeah, you get them trust you, and then
so we'll
have
see.
fun.
Yeah,
and then land it with a heavy one.
Yeah. Exactly. That's also another fun way to do it. But
like fuck around in the middle, and I'm gonna land it with the big
the
closer.
bookshelf.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Open up with like a classic, do whatever I want in the middle, and then close with a classic. Like that is a tried, tested. Also, too, like depending how much you're getting paid for shows, sometimes that's also like the more respectful thing to do. You don't need to go on stage and be fucking around for 15 minutes. And trying shit out.
Like I just recorded something last week. If you guys were there, you would have fucking loved it.
Yeah. No,
but
trust
today,
me. Okay, what else?
See.
You know, I still don't do the notes though.
Yeah, no. I never. Like I'll never, even at an open mic.
Yeah.
I will like, even at an open mic.
Yeah.
I just can't. The second, like the other day I was on stage where it's like I really was trying some stuff and it was like low stakes show. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to look at like my phone, open it up and flick through what the jot note I wanted to. I couldn't. Yeah. I'm like, I hate it when people are like, what else?
Yeah, I mean, when you get off, you're doing like notes.
Yeah, but I'm saying on stage when they go, what else? I'm like, even if the last one was good, I'm like, Unless I guess you completely advertise a show as I'm working on stuff. There will be a
Totally.
notebook on stage.
Yeah.
But I feel like fuck.
Yeah.
It kills me inside.
Yeah, and it's, you know what? It's like everybody works differently too. Because there's other people too that it's like, and this is cool. Like I have respect for it too. But it's like if your jokes are 20 seconds long, 30 seconds, you're kind of more of like a one-liner. This that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how you would do that without looking
The notebook.
at your
You need-
notebook, right?
yeah.
But for me, it's like, especially right now, it's like, you know, like last night, like I did 20 minutes, right? I had 3 things that I tried out. Right? So it's like those are like 6 minutes each, if not longer. And then as I work on those will probably turn into like 3 minutes.
Yeah, get tight.
Right? But
They're in the funnest time is now.
yeah. So it's like for me, like I didn't need notes because I just knew the 3 things that I was gonna work on. You know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
like grandma,
Exactly.
basketball,
Exactly.
fucking art. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then just stay in it.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Yeah.
What the fucking exciting time! I bet you're gonna do some new shit in the middle tonight. Watch.
For sure. Yeah, we'll see.
Yo. You said Dante, you had some videos.
Okay.
What's the deal with it? TLC was. It's muted.
Oh my god, I love this shit.
This is not on YouTube, right?
love-
you
I
could
love
just post.
how-
I could just post this, right? Okay, cool.
I love how TLC stands for the Learning Channel, and it's shit like this.
Oh, is that what this stands for?
Yeah, the Learning Channel.
That's they put a T for the. That's interesting.
A cockroach was in my video, and the fans and haters seen it, and people were hating on me so much that it just broke me. It's so hard. They made fun of me so much. And I tried so
Oh my
hard.
god! I never Did somebody add that? Did someone add that?
Yeah.
Trying to.
So why'd they make fun of her? Because she has cockroaches in her house?
Yes, cockroaches, I guess.
Oh,
man,
man.
if you want to put out content, your shit has to be spick and span, I guess. Fuck. That's so funny.
I mean, people will jump on it.
Like, I bet you got cockroaches too. You.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've had a million houses where I've had cockroaches. But that's the other thing. It's like, that's what's so funny about, like, and it's hard to learn, but it's like if people are going to laugh at you for something and you're like, it hits you,
Yeah.
well, then there they go.
Yeah. I mean, that's on
They
you,
got
right?
you. Like, if somebody
Yeah.
says a nickname that you don't like, you better not tell them that you don't like it. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's going to
you
be
better
your
play
fucking
it off.
nickname.
Yeah. Right
You know
when
what I mean?
people see they affected you,
Yeah.
they remember.
Then that's the hit.
What's this? Soul of innocent
Lady escapes her
lady.
body after unknown monstrosity attacks. Oh my god, this is scary.
Wait. Was that CGI?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. It's a giant spider.
That would scare me though.
That
You
would
know?
scare any of
Holy.
us. That's a massive spider. Whatever the fuck that was. And there's someone just behind a box. Like, just like, like there's like 2 people. Like,
I love that
Simpson
shit,
style.
though.
Like, shh, she's
I
coming.
love that shit.
And then I'm looking for this one. This is self-help sing.
This looks,
I think I saw this morning.
Fuck your job. Do only what you are paid to do. You are not slave. You are not office bitch. Hard work is bad for you. Hard work only good for making somebody else rich. They say hard work never killed anybody. But remember, what doesn't kill you is putting you under chronic stress medication. Work hard, play hard. Bad idea. Work less, play more. Much better idea. Don't stay at work 1 minute more than you have to. When the work is finished, switch off the laptop computer, switch off the phone, switch off the brain. Tell your boss to take their after hours emails and shove it up their ass. You have a life, so live it. And remember, all work and no play makes Jack impotent.
Dude, I've seen this where he's going from creek to creek, by the way. Like he goes to serene like landscapes. I watched this where he was like in front of like a dam or something. Now he's like in a nice river. So Dude, the way corporations are, I bet they'll hire this guy, ironically.
That's
to come
the
in.
thing, though.
Corporations are like, haha, we're not like this. That's why he's here.
Exactly. Man, I love it, though. I love this new age of corporations. Like, have you ever done corporates?
Corporate gigs?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I just did one.
Dude, and how was it?
They have been getting better with
They've
it.
been
This
good
new
now.
one, they just told me it was for like a Muslim. It was for a Muslim Islamic. They do private equity pretty much.
Yeah,
Muslim.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they'll like invest in halal ways.
Yeah.
But they pretty much. They were like, don't do sex stuff.
All right.
I was like, okay. But like,
Oh,
I've done
man.
other ones where they're like, no current topics, no sex, no race, no gender. You're like, what the fuck
You're
is
like, then
left?
I'm not your
What-
guy.
Yeah, I told them.
Man, me and Mike Reed did.
I gave him Mark Hallworth's info.
Yeah, perfect.
Straight up.
Straight
And
up.
I think he got the gig.
You're like,
too.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
I did one like 6 years ago, a corporate, and the office, it was all a lot of brown people, a lot of Muslims, right? And like I grew up with a lot of brown friends. I have a lot of brown material, like you know this, like
Yeah,
specific. Like I have like Hollywood fucking Hindi like on my shoulder of my favorite Bollywood movie. Like you know what I mean? Like I got some references that like
you're not scared. You're like, I got this.
oh man,
Yeah.
beyond do I got this?
Yeah.
I'm like, buddy, like when I start like singing like songs in Hindi and stuff, like I know what happens. They're always like, you know what I mean? So
Like, what?
Yeah, Reitz knows this too. So Reitz was like, yo, I'm gonna do like 20 minutes and then like you gotta close it out because
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna do, right? And yeah, I went up. I started talking about like you know Shah Rukh Khan and like Bollywood movies, and I was telling stories about like you know brown parents are like this and blah blah, blah growing up and this, and I was just like murdering, and then I had like an old joke. I forget how it goes, but I was like 30 minutes in, and then I did like some joke about how like. You know, like you would never see a gay Muslim.
Yeah.
Or like you don't really see gay brown people a lot or something. I forget how the joke went, but I remember as I started doing it, like just everybody being silent. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, like, you know, and then I start like kind of like changing the subject and being like, but anyways, you know, and it's just like, no, like clearly something happened. So like I can't say anything. So I just had to be like, all right, well, thank you guys, and like walk off. And I'm like, I was murdering. And then like, what happened? And then everybody came up like, dude, that was so funny. That was so funny. Honestly, like, I don't care. But they're like, we literally do have a gay Muslim in our office, and he's legitimately the nicest guy. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, okay. And then like, throughout, like, because we stuck around, we had to stick around. They like, we're getting food, so we were gonna like eat. We still want to get it and drinks and stuff. So every like 3 minutes, somebody from the company would come up and just kind of like quietly, they'd be like, "Yo, dude, killer, yo, that shit was so funny, yo, I like that." Oh, yo, also one thing though too, like nearing the
do have
end, we do actually have a gay Muslim, and he's like literally the nicest guy, right? So then I
They're
was
all
like,
saying the same thing.
they all said the same thing. So then I was like so stressed out, and I went outside for a cigarette, and I was just outside by myself of this like this venue, like what, like a banquet hall, right?
Yeah.
I'm like outside. I'm like, fuck, man, because it hurts. Even though I did well, it doesn't matter.
Because you wanted to land it.
You want to
wanted
leave. It's still
it's
so.
all about the ending.
Ugh,
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone's looking at me awkward and this and that. This guy comes out, and I literally, all I hear behind me is just like, wow. You know what I mean? And I was like, and they kept telling me like what his name was. I think his name was like Omar or something like that. And just the way I looked over and I see this guy just looking at me like
You
this.
knew exactly.
And I'm like, so you're Omar? And he's like, guilty. And then we both just stared at each other, and he goes, well, I thought it was funny. And then I started talking. He goes, I don't know what their problem was. He was like, I thought it was funny. Everybody wasn't laughing because they were scared of me being offended. He's like, I thought it was hilarious. I talked to this guy for 2 minutes, and he literally was the nicest, like the nicest guy ever. I was like, yep, that makes sense.
Dude, it'd be like, you know, it'd be like working at some place and be like, you guys got, you know, no black people or whatever. And it's like, it's funny to that guy. And then everyone's like, well, black people are here. Like, is it, like, can we... They should have all been laughing at this shit.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're like, yo, gay Muslims aren't shit.
Yeah.
You're saying they're rare. The whole
No,
bit's they're rare,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, I don't understand. It's still such a new thing to them.
Yeah.
It should have been funny.
Yeah,
but
but
it's
they're like,
so in that weird new space
we don't know if
that
he's
it's
offended or...
It's you guys are weird about it,
Yeah,
you know? But
yeah.
you wish that Omar would have at least fucking laughed out loud.
Yeah.
To beaken to them.
I guess he
you're
was
good.
still just like watching this guy suffer. He probably was smiling. It was
That's
so
so
funny.
fucking. That's like, if you, man, if you compiled all these things, like there should be way more of these like stand up, like shows that
Oh,
around
for
the life
sure.
of stand up. I'm shocked how little there are because
I
it's
know.
like. Just this is so fucking funny.
There's
Just
so-
the
bad
well,
shows.
well, that
Well.
exactly.
I was like, I know
in the
exactly.
episode.
Dude,
And he'd have so much flair on and be like,
And he literally like you could tell. Like
Yeah.
he was like he looked like a
Yeah,
character of a
100%,
gay guy.
yeah.
It was hilarious.
but could you tell Muslim too though? Was it like gay but Muslim?
Yeah, it was,
You know what I mean?
honestly, yeah.
Like he had like the dashdasha, but it was like
but
pink.
it was pink.
Yeah. And
Bro,
a Louis Vuitton
I
print.
swear that's literally what it was.
No way.
I swear it was pink. I'm not joking. It was literally pink.
How did you not spot that on stage though? Was he like, was it huge?
I couldn't see it. Yeah, it was huge. There was like
Gotcha.
200 people there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's so
Do
fucking
you know
funny.
Kamar Harganen?
No.
He's like in Ottawa.
Yo, Google that.
He does,
Comic?
like- yeah, he does like comedy a little bit. He'll come down here.
Kamar
K-
Harganen.
Kam. I mean, actually, like I don't know if like I think he goes by Kamar Babar on stage now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's a better comedy name, but still, I
Yeah.
don't know. How do you feel about name changes for the stage at this?
Bro, I think it's too late, but I wish I did.
Yeah?
Sometimes. Yeah.
What
This
have you
guy,
been like?
You know him?
No, but I've seen that face. Kamar Babar.
Man.
Yeah, he does go that.
One of my favorites ever with like corporates and like stories like that. I always think about. I just like remind me. He's in Ottawa. He does absolute lot. He's such a solid dude. Like he's the man, right?
Funny fuck.
Yeah, he's very funny. He did. He's like kind of dirty, right?
Yeah.
He did this. He worked at this company, but it was like this is like his actual job. You know what I mean? Like he didn't do comedy like a lot. Like he'll do it like just like weekends and this and that. He worked like at a really good. Like he had a good job at this company, and they were like, "Hey, for the Christmas party," they're like, "You know what we were thinking? You go up there, you do like 5 minutes, roast us, just do some stuff." He's like, "I don't want to do that."
He's
They're
like,
like,
"It's
"Come
not a
on."
good idea, yo.
They're like, "Come on." He's like, "No, like it's really not a good idea." And they're like, "Come on." And they just like the whole like they're like the office is like, "You got to do it. You got to do it." And he's like, "I don't want to. That's not smart. This that." They convince him to do it. He's at his company's office party, right? And then they're like, "All right, guys, Kamar's gonna give us a little treat." Everyone's clapping. He goes up and like he's like, I barely say anything. Like just like the lightest roast, and instantly everyone's like, "Okay, come on, man, come on." And he's like, "Okay," and he's like trying to do jokes, and everybody's like, "This is too
Like,
much."
too
This
mean.
that. After 4 minutes, his boss of the company comes up, cuts his mic, and was like, "You got to get out of here."
Wow.
And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I told you." So they kick him out of the venue of his own Christmas office party. This guy's like, "I'm going to
Wait,
get."
they asked him to leave?
They asked him to leave. He
Not
got
the stage,
He
the-
got
the-
fired. They're literally
What?
like, they're like, yeah, and we'll talk to you Monday. He's like, "I told you a million times I didn't want to do it." They're like, "Okay." They're like, "Yeah, you got to go. You got to go." So this guy, like, he has to leave his office party, right? He's like, "Get into the car. Now I'm fired. I didn't want to do stand up. I told you guys a million times." He gets into the car, right? And he's just sitting there
He's like,
like
well.
yeah, it's the guy again. He's like, he's like, "Man, I'm gonna be fired." He's thinking this, and then all of a sudden he's like, "No." He took his phone out to record his set on stage. He forgot his
there.
phone on, so he had to walk back into the venue, back onto the stage, pick up his phone. And everyone's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I just forgot my phone. I'm leaving. They're like, "Get out of here. You disgust us." You know what I mean?
Oh,
then
my
this guy
God.
got fired. So
Bro,
he-
I would fucking sue. I would absolutely, if he, like,
I
if
know, you're
was
like,
in
I
his-
said
would've-
a million
I would have
times.
gone to a fucking, like, straight up employment lawyer and be like, "I'm suing these people."
Yeah, I
I'm
didn't
suing
want
these
to do
people.
it.
I'm
You
suing.
know?
Like, it's going to take years, but I am suing these people. I find someone like, that's fucking so stupid.
I've been like,
I hate that shit.
like
What
weddings or something. Sometimes people are like, "But why don't you do a bit?" And you're like, "It's zero." I'm not even saying maybe even no.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I'm telling you that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Man, people don't get it. And they would never, even if you were up there doing like music comedy and you were being so offensive, they would never ask a musician to fucking
No.
ever.
Yeah.
To be like, "Put down the guitar and get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Never, man. It's something about comedy that has an inherent disrespect to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That it seems like, well, also too, because
Anyway, okay, look at this. Like,
they think that we are talking. Okay, like I think maybe this is what it is like, it does make it look like we're doing up like stuff on the spot.
Yeah.
Even when we have our tightest bits and what we were talking about before the monologue, when you're doing that right, the audience still does think that we're just like riffing.
that's the hardest part. That's why people think they can just do it, because we make it look like
They think
they're
that.
just being funny.
But also, the reason why they probably do get offended in these scenarios too is like, okay, if we're at a wedding and they're like, "Oh, boss, just do 5 minutes. Just do, you know what I mean? Just talk about the wedding and stuff." And then you go up and you do like 5 minutes of your material. They're super offended because they're like, "We gave you 5 minutes and you chose to talk about this."
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have talked about the wedding, this, that. And it's like, no, because I don't have jokes written for this specific moment.
What they want is these cutesy, like, inside baseball, funny,
Yeah.
very positive roast that roast you like a Sebastian Maniscalco, like a positive.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
You're the nicest guy. You're too nice. You know what I mean?
He's
Like,
too nice.
This
You
guy's
know what I
fucking
mean?
too nice. And the
Yeah.
HR, stop giving me flex days.
Hey, it's
I
crazy.
got enough.
And I know the hog on him's probably a massive.
This is what they want.
Yeah.
But like, if you go up there and do like a Bankus,
You're like, well, Sheila's kind of fat. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, whoa.
yeah, her earrings are her whole personality.
Yeah, 600-pound
Yeah,
Sheila's like, me?
Yeah.
What?
Like, man, corporates are, dude. One time, I got hired by a pharmaceutical sales company to come into, to come into the sales office and do comedy for them.
Right.
10 a.m. Monday.
Right.
10 a.m. They said
10
9
a.m..
10 a.m. They said 9 a.m. I'm like,
Just you by yourself.
just me by myself. I'm like, do you guys have like an AV setup? They're like, oh, we'll handle it.
Okay.
I'm like, 9 a.m. is really early, by the way. You guys, you're swimming up current. If you want to make this thing funny, put it later. They're like, all right, we'll do it at 10 a.m. I'm like, okay. Bro, I show up. You know, if you fucking take a karaoke machine and put a mic in it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like, as you talk, it's like, it's
Yeah,
got
it
this
sounds
like
like the TTC.
blown,
Yeah.
this blown speaker to it. And I was just, it's broad sun beaming in. They put a couch. It's all like, it's 6 women. They're selling a numbing cream. It's like there's 6 salespeople. And I'm just standing there and I'm to do 30 minutes cold off the top. And like, do some material. I do crowd work. It's funny.
And it's
okay, I'm
doing
getting
well?
it's funny. It's funny. It's a little funny. You know, look at this chick. You know, a lot of makeup there. You know,
You're getting
it's-
laughs, though?
I'm getting laughs.
Nice.
6 people, broad daylight. I'm getting what I can get.
Yeah.
I go into material. They start pulling back. It's like, it's not, I'm in front of like the office TV and they're like on the couch 1 meter ahead of me. And it's like, once you start doing your act,
Yeah.
it just falls flat.
Yeah.
After like crowd work.
Right.
Then the motherfucking CEO arrives with a travel bag with a cat in it. Imagine a guy's walking down an aisle on a flight with a cat.
Right.
He comes in, he's got a man bun, and the guy proceeds to just heckle me.
And he has a literal cat.
He has a literal cat with him, and he's pulling up, and I'm like, obviously it's I'm like, for you to heckle and have a man bun, that's like incredible. Like, what is this personality? He goes, it's actually a genderless bun. He was so ready. He's so ready. There's no gender to this bun. He defends the man bun so constantly every day.
Yeah.
He's got his rebuttals like ready. Bro, the guy straight up fucking just like derailed the whole thing. He derailed the whole thing, and then
Yeah.
HR, and then he went and got the cash from HR so he can give it to me. And then you know what I mean? He wanted to do his power move.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he comes, shakes my hand at the end. And he's like, yeah, funny stuff. Here you go. Yeah. I'll see you around. I'm just like, man, fuck this.
Dude.
By the way, because then I made it weird because I was like, all of the chicks, I was like, you guys clearly hate him, but he's paying your paychecks.
Yeah.
And like no one likes him.
For
So
sure.
It got
How could
weird. I'm like, he's like, hey, I bet you leave him alone and do comedy, huh? Comedy guy? Like, he's just being a fucking prick, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, the funniest part was they brought breakfast. They're like, and for everybody,
It's
they're like,
terrible.
here's your breakfast. You feel free to have a seat and just sit with everyone. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Dude,
You think I'm
no.
gonna sit down and be like, what was your funniest? What do you think was the best? I'm out of here, yo.
Doing gigs by yourself is that, like, I always think too, I'm like, that is obviously stand up is an experience and people are like, that must be cool and this, that. But like one of the coolest, and like, I mean, I'm saying that after the fact, but like one of the wildest things for like building character and like getting to know yourself, like doing a gig just you realize when there's one other comedian, it's not so bad because you're like, oh, this is going to be brutal, but at least you're in it together.
We have a story or something.
When it's just you, especially when you bomb, like out of town going and doing a gig, just you bombing, so then you have to stick around. Everybody hates you, and you have to be like, yeah, so can I get paid now?
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
Existential crisis, almost.
Yeah. Or you're hungry, so you're like, I'm not saying no to this free meal, but now I'm just gonna sit here eating chicken wings as everybody just looks at me and hates me. Like that's some next level. Like you come home and you're like, yeah, like
What am I
I
doing?
like myself.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
dude,
like,
it's like-
you have to. You can't be like, yeah, you have to be like, damn, like what an experience, and only me, myself, and I experience that shit.
Dude, it's like it's the Wild West. It's
Yeah.
the fucking Wild West. You don't know what to expect, and just the treatment of a comedian is the strangest thing. Having worked on the corporate side and everything, I know the respect. Like I've done gigs where it's musicians and they book a comedy act in the middle to break it up. and I'm not comedy act, and I show up to a thing that is for musicians,
Yeah.
they're like, but the green room's upstairs. There's gift bags for everybody. Just go tell the counter's right there. I'm with my girlfriend. Tell it whatever you guys want. Just pick it off the menu. Get 2 drinks each. You got the e-transfer, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not the treatment.
Yeah.
By any means.
No.
So I don't know what it is. Comedians more
Like, that's
often
great-
than not.
that's great
That's
treatment.
amazing.
Yeah.
This is not how comedians are treated. Comedians are treated to a venue. There's not even a space for us. Like
No.
they're like, yo,
And
is there
often,
a
like,
green?
there's no drink
Just pull up
discounts.
yeah, there's like, or there's like, they'll pay you in a drink
They'll pay you in a drink.
and just go sit over there, linger. We have nowhere for you. There's no respect.
It's crazy. Like, you know what? Like, I'll even say the fucking show, but like, you've done the show in Kitchener, Sandy McFarlane's show, Rusty Nail.
Not yet.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
we talked about that.
Yeah,
we
but he's
talked
hitting
about
me
that.
back up about something.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, like that show, and there's like a few other shows, but it's like that show specifically, right? It's just like you get a free meal, they cover your drinks, he pays you right away. That's it. The audience is good. It's a good crowd. All this stuff is so simple, but it's almost sad when you see comedians just like get even slightly like, don't worry, we're covering our drinks, and here's your cash right away, and the show's gonna be fun. Like that, it's still where we're like, yo, that show's the best.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
And it's like people assume that's what every show is like
No,
for us, and it's
no,
like
no.
no.
Dude, not at all.
No.
Man. In
Yeah.
fact, it's so bad that in comedy you'll actually be like, I remember some years in, it'll be like someone will be paying someone a 10.
Yeah.
And the comedian will be like, oh my God, really? Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like,
know.
There's no
Yeah.
expectation of money.
Yeah, at
There's no
first.
like, oh, wow, really?
Yeah,
5?
yeah.
Oh, thanks, man. Fuck yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
you. I did 15 for you, but thanks, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
paying people for the first time is a wild moment because you see that like that people they haven't. clicked
They're like
that
they
thing
haven't
yet.
connected that this is a craft you're building that is like a fucking like a valuable craft.
Yeah, and they had so much fun, and they're just honored that you gave them a spot on the show.
You're shocked. Oh
and
my
then
God.
they're like this, and then you're like, and here you go, here's $10 or whatever. They're
Anybody
like,
else would be like $10, bro. I drove 90 kilometers.
Yeah,
each way."
exactly.
You know what I mean?
exactly. You know, I know
Yeah.
it's the first couple times you get paid. It's fucking wild. Yeah.
The game, brother, it never ends, and I love it.
No.
We're in a good place right now where we're just fucking building and free, you know?
100%.
We could dip into the good shit as needed.
100%. Yeah.
I'm just happy you fucking put the shit out, and now people can stop whispering.
man.
in your ear, man, you're over it. Shut the fuck up. It's out. Leave me alone.
No, man. Yeah. No, I can't wait till it is out. I really cannot wait till it's out.
What are you gonna name it?
Horny.
Horny?
Yeah.
Yo, that's my boy. Let's end it on that, my guy. I love it. Yo, just look into the camera and tell the people where they can find you, your art, stand-up dates, everything.
Yeah, so just find me on Paul Thompson Comedy on Instagram. Paul Thompson Fine Art is my art page. And people are always like, I love showing the art too when people see you do comedy, and then people are just like, oh, I do art too. They always are just like, they probably assume I just splatter paint and stuff. And then they go and like, oh, you actually paint.
He truly paints, and
Yeah.
you can commission the motherfucker. It's not cheap,
Yeah.
but he's truly legit. It's not gonna be a fucking red square with a
No.
purple line. Like
Yeah.
modern.
So yeah, paulthompsonfineart.com is the website too if you want to buy like prints and buy art and stuff like that. And then other than that, you know what it is. I'll stay on the lookout for when Horny drops. You
Yeah,
know
come
what I
back
mean?
on. It'll be like
Okay, sick.
probably like March or some shit, right?
Fuck yeah.
Come back
Yeah, yeah.
on, bro.
Sick. Let's do
Horny's
it.
coming out, the man. Check him out. Get on stage. Toronto is all over. He's actually all over Ontario, everywhere. So check his dates. Go check him out. From my end, abbaswahab.com for tickets for the tour. St. John, Newfoundland, Gander, Corner Brook, Sydney, Nova Scotia, Toronto, Kitchener, Ottawa, Calgary, Vancouver, Lethbridge, fucking Edmonton, Victoria, Tofino, Gibsons, BC. We're hitting them all. Come out. I don't know. Maybe I missed one or two, but fuck it. Again, thank you for coming on,
Thank
my guy.
you.
Until next
Anytime.
time, homie.
Next time for sure.
And as always, if you like, click like, comment, that whole thing for the algorithm. My boy Dante in the house with Person One Productions. We appreciate you.
Hey.
That's what it is. Next time, say something else. You know? Yo, until next time, thanks for tuning in. Peace.